RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
Yo. Oh my God. Hi guys. This is Tara Devlin. I know I'm sitting down a lot. I don't know. I'm feeling tired. Oh, I left the Swiffer on the floor. That looks so funny. Oh my God. The Swiffer duster is on the floor. Oh, brother. That's so, it's so low rent around here. All right, this is how we do it. This is the liberal media. At least, I was dusting, so, yes, my name is Tara Devlin. Thank you so much for hanging out. Maybe I'll get that. Maybe I'll pick that up. This is how we do it. It's bothering. It would bother me the whole show. So, all right, my name is Tara Devlin, and this is unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy. It doesn't matter if we have a Swiffer on the floor. It matters that we get together here every Friday evening around this time. I guess I say 8 p.m., but it's usually around 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. And, yeah. Then it's like we hang out on Friday night to discuss the last days of the American Republic. And we will get together. And, I don't know what the hell I'd do without you. Hold on. I just dropped my phone, too. Oh, brother. Dropping everything today. So if you are on any other platform, come on over to youtube.com/C4channel/Tarabuster and hang out with the best chat room in the entire liberal media landscape. That is not an exaggeration. And we already have people filling up in the chat. Thank you guys. We see Richard W. Thank you so much for your super chat right out of the gate. And thank you, Jim, as always. Thank you for your super chat. Guys, listen, if you are a regular supporter, send me an email at gmail.com, at tarabustermedia@gmail.com with your name and address and say, hey, this is Jim. This is Richard. I'd like a mug. All right? And I'll send you a mug. What the hell? Then we can all get together. And I'm just reading the chats. We can all get together and drink our coffee and whatever else out of our Tarabuster mugs on Friday evening. All right. Who's in charge of the Swiffer duster? The producer, right? But where is he? He's in the other room. He'll be here soon, I'm sure, to disrupt the proceedings. Tara Jr. for those who are new. And so we're on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher. Give the show a good review on iTunes if you can, please. That helps get us up in the algorithm. So when people are looking for a normal show, a show with normal people talking about normal people things from a normal people perspective, they will find this show and know that we're going to hang out, that we're hanging out and we're getting through it. And so today I wanted to talk about a few things. And thank you, JD, for your super chat in pounds, you lucky bastard. Yes. Hello, Tara. Good evening, Tara fans. Yeah, I do. I envy you. It's not perfect in other parts of the world, but I miss my my homeland. It's not England, I guess, but it's Ireland. I have I'm English and Irish. That's me. And I kind of feel like, wait till I get a hold of my grandmother when she comes to take me into the light. I'm going to have to talk to her about that. What the hell? All right. My ass hurts. In this chair. I should have stood it up, but oh well. So I watched Marjorie Traitor Green's testimony today. That's probably why I feel so giddy. I guess it's not giddy. I feel kind of, I don't know. It's a combination of, I'm checking in with myself. This is what I do with my shrink. It's a combination of fury and incredulity. Is that a word? Yeah. And also and fear. There's fear in there too. Could the Swiffer be used on Marjorie Traitor Green? I would hope so. She's certainly a filthy basic B, you know? I mean, that's the thing that that is baffling to me. It actually, when I was watching the proceedings, I thought, who likes this person? Who is a fan of this particular human being? I mean, to me, she is completely repellent and repugnant on every level. I mean, whatever, putting aside her two toes, her giant club foot, whatever. I'm sure if she was that's what I was thinking. If she was a normal person, speaking about normal things like truth, justice, the American way, e pluribus unum, with a maturity capable of functioning in a free democratic society, would I find her physical appearance as disgusting as I do? I mean, nothing against, I mean, whatever. You know what I'm not trying to, it's not really about her physically, of course, but she does kind of have like her whole persona, her face, everything. It does reflect who she is to me. I don't know. Look, she looks like a blockhead, you know, like a stupid blockhead and stunted. To me, if she were a shape, it would be square. You know, if she suddenly became a geometric shape. She's just a giant mass of I don't know how. And then, like, I was thinking, how does somebody's brain get that twisted? Here comes the producer. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, nothing against horses, right? I love horses, even though they're not very smart, apparently. I don't know. I don't know horses personally. I know people who have had horses, and they've told me they're rather dumb as a species, but I don't know. Right, Junior? Junior's not dumb. Sit down, you dumb bastard. Here's our dumb bastard producer. No, he's a good boy, but he's annoying. He's very annoying when it comes to the show, because every time the show starts, he's got to come over and step on the keyboard and then start biting my hands. So it does. You hear? And then he starts yelling at me like, my whole existence is to pet him. It's okay. We'll get through it. Look at him. He's so cute, but so annoying too. I guess that's why you have pets. Right, honey? Do you know that everybody loves you? He's so vocal. That's because he thinks he's a person. And that's true, actually. Did you know that about cats? I found this out. I'm not a cat expert, even though people think I am. I mean, I know enough to, because I've been around them. But do you know that they are only vocal because we're vocal? Do you know that? I thought that was very interesting, because we are vocal, so they try to communicate with us. When they're out in wherever in the wild, they don't communicate like through vocal sounds. I guess, unless, I mean, not 100%, but you know, they hiss at each other and whatnot, but not like this. They're not like meow 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 meow. They only do that because we are vocal and they're trying to communicate. I think that's touching. That's right. Winston, you knew that too. Yeah. I found that out. I found that out, whatever, years ago. But it's really, endearing, in my opinion, because it just goes to show you, everybody just wants to connect. We're all just trying to connect and communicate. Isn't that true? And so getting back to Marjorie Taylor Green, that's what I was thinking. Like, who, why, how does somebody get this twisted? Because and we'll talk about Kevin McCarthy, and he's a liar. They're all liars, but it doesn't seem to bite them in the ass. And it's like the Democrats have to be the adults, and they get penalized for not fixing the mess that cons leave behind in their wake constantly. All right, we'll be right back. So, actually, let me read this. There's an article I came across. We'll read some of it. It's called, it's by Stephen Crockett Jr. in Huffington Post. He wrote, he says Republican temper tantrums should hurt them at the ballot box. Instead, they're hurting Democrats. Republicans are allowed to be full-bodied politicians while Democrats are forced to be the adults in the room. North Carolina Rep. Madison Cawthorn is not a good person. For starters, he's a liar. During his 2020 campaign, he claimed that in 2014 he was on his way to the Naval Academy when a car crash left him paralyzed from the waist down. He also noted that he was a successful businessman. Both claims are lies. Cawthorn had already been rejected from the Naval Academy before the car accident occurred, and according to tax records, the real estate investment firm that he founded in 2019 claimed no income. But that didn't matter to his constituents, who were pleased to elect the so-called, the youngest member of Congress, believing him to be an astute real estate businessman who was on his way to serving his country before an unfortunate twist of fate. But Cawthorn didn't stop there. Since taking office, he's claimed that he was training for the 2020 Paralympic Games until his disability began to worsen, causing him to opt out. You see how they try to garner sympathy. Everything is a fraud to them, because not being a fraud is too much work. And this is why I say we will win. They have to pretend they are like us, while we are being this, we're being this. We're being the people who serve, who are authentic, in our strengths and in our weaknesses. We are authentic, and that's what it means to be a human being. Because we all have pluses and minuses, strengths and weaknesses, but that's why we're interdependent, because, I might be up and you might be down. You might be up, I might be down. That's how it works. We move forward together. But Republicans, it is, see him? You see what he's doing to my hands? You see this hand, terrorist? But Republicans, everything is a fraud to them. They are absolute frauds. And that's what happened on the stand today with Marjorie Taylor Green. She suddenly, when she's under oath, couldn't remember the treason. And she's a liar. She was lying. She knows she's lying. They have no integrity. Why would who votes for these people? Who votes for them? Who marries them? Who hangs out with them? Right? I don't understand. I just don't get it. It makes me feel, I don't know. I told you when I went to see that, well, you might like the Dirty Dancing. I told you it was like a big, I lived on Staten Island. My friends and I went to where was it? Newdorf Blaine Theater to see Dirty Dancing, and it was like an event. People were literally dancing in the aisles in this movie, and my friends and I were like looking at each other like, this movie sucks. What the hell is going on here? Even though, I mean, we can argue Dirty Dancing certainly had a lot more to offer humanity than Marjorie Taylor Green. She has absolutely nothing. What does she offer? What does she bring to the table? I can't recall. I was dying for this. For those who didn't see the performance of the traitor, Marjorie Traitor Green, anytime she was questioned, I mean, she was hostile. She was a hostile bitch. And I don't know, she had a lot of opportunities to continue to spread the big lie, which annoyed the hell out of me, and it wasn't challenged. Well, every time that they allow them to lay this big lie on the floor and let it stink up the place, it spreads. You have to challenge it. It's a lie. I was waiting for the attorney to say, well, are you aware of the 80 plus lawsuits that were thrown out? The majority of those lawsuits thrown out with prejudice, meaning get the fuck out of here with this. So I was waiting for that, because why do you let that rotten egg lay in the floor and stink up the place? Continue to stink up the place. And then she's saying that she thought Antifa was attacking and BLM. Where is this Antifa? For God's sakes. No, who's challenging them? This Antifa is the Nazi equivalent of the eternal Jew. They're in historical parlance, or not parlance, in historical reference. It is the same thing. Commies. Oh, well, that's what the Nazis did. Every crime they committed was ascribed to Jews and communists, which were interchangeable. I don't know why the attorney, why Democrats in general don't point it out every time these freaks open their lie holes. But I was also waiting for the attorney to say, do you think a member of Congress should be able to recall pertinent events? I mean, and ask her, do you have a problem with your memory? Is there do you have any medical diagnosis we should know about? But if not, do you think members of Congress should have the ability to recall things that they're involved in and things that they say? They just don't have any memory of the lies that come flying out of their mouths until confronted by them on videotape. Well, I don't know where you got that from. Oh, CNN. Oh, yes, everybody's fake. I don't know what I said before. Then she's saying Joe Biden wants a peaceful transfer of power. He's not going to get a peaceful transfer of power, she's saying. But what comes before that? What could possibly come before that was edited? Yeah, everyone's out to get you, right? No, honey. We're trying to get through the day. We're trying to have a country that works for more than just the 1%. We're trying to have a multiracial liberal democracy that so many fought, bled, and died to create and entrust to us. And then she's talking about, he's asking her about 1776. Wait, hold on. We'll be right back. This is Tara Devlin, Tarabuster. So he's asking her about 1776. He's quoting from the Declaration of Independence, and she's questioning him on that. Well, because she was coached. This is what it is. She was coached to not lie to say, I don't recall, I don't recall, I don't recall. Now, put that up against Hillary Clinton, who testified for 11 hours in front of these bastards. I don't recall her ever saying, I don't recall. Do you? Under oath? She wiped the floor with them. That's how Democrats have to behave. But imagine, when the shoe's on the other foot, if the shoe was on the other foot, if Democrats were, I don't recall, different rules for Democrats. Just like when Trump says, if, you take the fifth, you're guilty or whatever, and then they're all taking the fifth. But, different rules for the traitors. And they just get to continue lying. Literally, she embarrassed herself. But more than that, she embarrassed this country. What do you think the world's autocrats are doing right now, besides high-fiving each other? Looking at the decline of the American Republic. Oh my God. Saying this, we got Trump in there. We got this two-toed traitor, this lying freak. Do you remember they asked her if she said advised the so-called President Trump to invoke martial law? I don't recall. Then there's a video of her. Did you meet with any officials in the White House? I don't recall. Then there's a video of her coming out of the White House. Who votes for these people? Who puts these freaks in office? Honestly, and there's no consequences for being a traitor now, and this is why we're swirling the bowl here. Why autocracy is really waiting in the wings. You think that they don't want to turn this country into Hungary? That's what they're doing. That is their dreamland. What Erdogan is doing in Turkey, they're using as a battle plan here. Like, for instance, you remember we talk about how Republicans are constantly, they vilify education, of course, but they vilify gender studies, right? Oh, and anytime they want to knock getting an education, or they want to knock the prospect of investing in our young people and investing in people to go to college, as other countries do, as civilized nations do. You see, it's an investment when you let or you invest in the youth so they can be all they can be. And that returns benefits to society and civilization as a whole. They look at it as, I don't want to pay. You got $20? You got $1? You got a bit? Like they are so small. They're too small to function in a democracy. You understand? It's true. All right, Junior, what are you doing? You see, now he's turning around. Is that more comfortable or something? Such a pain in my ass. Look at him. Look at him. He's lucky he's cute. Aren't you? Otherwise, he'd go right back. Right back to North Shore Animal League, right? No, never. Never. Yeah. Right. Haiku says free college ain't bootstraps, so F it. Exactly. But they don't seem to get it. That's why we can't let them lay their stink bombs everywhere and let it stink up the place and expect that the American people are just going to know better by osmosis. No, that's not what's happening. The poison is getting in. It's seeping into their pores. It is the life's blood of the Republican Party. It's the wind beneath their freaking wings. And they're coming at us full tilt boogie with this autocracy crap. So, for example, let me look this up. I didn't plan on talking about this, but just came up in my mind. You know how Republicans, we've talked about it on the show before, how they whenever they want to vilify education, like, well, I don't want to pay for your gender studies degree. Well, did you know that they banned gender studies in Hungary? That's what they want to do here. They banned it. Just like they're banning critical race theory, this thing that doesn't... That's how it happens. You ban bullshit. It doesn't have to be real. Fascism is not based in reality. It is based in overthrowing democracy and installing a strong man with a strict hierarchy and crony capitalism and rampant corruption and fraudulent elections. This is what they're doing. It doesn't. It's like Hitler on when was that? I don't remember the year. I wasn't there, but he arrested on the night that the Reichstag burned, which they did themselves, the Nazis. No, I mean, there's no definitive proof, but most people believe that. And they arrested 5,000 Germans of various persuasions, communists, and political opponents in the middle of an election. He did that. And what do you do? What do you do when the government suddenly, all of a sudden, one fell swoop, 5,000 people are rounded up? Your political opponent, somebody that Hitler was supposedly running against in a democratic election, was arrested. Was it based in truth? It was based in bullshit. Just like critical race theory. Just like everything else. The parental rights. When have parents not had rights? In schools. They just want to destroy public education. Because public education is one of the pillars of democracy. And that's what Joe Biden needs to say. That's what the Democrats need to say. They have to stand for it and not expect the American people to simply know by osmosis what's at stake. Why do we have a public education system? Because it's one of the pillars of democracy. We need to have an educated populace. And them coming after it is an assault on democracy. Nothing less. Here, in 2018, Hungary officially ends gender studies programs. This is from a website called Inside Higher Ed, by Elizabeth Redden. Hungary has removed gender studies from a list of approved master's programs following a publication of a government decree signed by Prime Minister Viktor Orban. Students who are already enrolled in gender studies programs will be permitted to continue. This is sort of like what they do. You know, we're just going to phase it out. Like they're going to phase out Socialist security and stuff like that. That's what they always say. Oh, just phase it out. Sunset it. Hungary's right-wing government originally proposed banning gender studies programs in August. At the time, Orban's chief of staff cited as the rationale low enrollment numbers, as well as the government's ideological opposition to gender studies programs. The Hungarian government oh my God, Junior, you're so annoying. He's like scratching my leg. The Hungarian government is of the clear view that people are, here we go. Let me know if this sounds familiar. The Hungarian government is of the clear view that people are born either men or women. They lead their lives the way they think best, but beyond this, the Hungarian state does not wish to spend public funds on education in this area. Either born men or women? Yeah, okay, whatever. But let's not study. Let's not discuss. Let's not have any of the freedoms that so many fought, bled, and died for. Gender studies programs is a hallmark of civilization. Just like liberal arts and all the degrees that these Republicans consider useless. The only thing you're supposed to do if you go to school and to get a degree, you're supposed to go to a business school, right? That's the only thing. You're supposed to come up with some scam to separate dummies from their money, and then that's it. That's all you can do. Everything else is whatever. It's all a waste of time. You're a crybaby. You're an arugula eater. You're you think you know better. You're an elitist. Honey, being an elitist is one of the reasons so many fought, bled, and died for democracy. All right, Junior, you know what? Guess who's going to his... Get up there. Get up there. Get the hell up there. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Here he comes. Are you... Oh, wait. No, he's back. Go lay down. Go lay down. He doesn't listen to me. Go lay down. I'll throw the Swiffer. Maybe I'll chase it. Here, go chase this. Chase this. Go get it. No, he didn't fall for it. Junior, what the fuck is wrong with you? Go lay down, man. He is not like this the entire day. Go sit down. And then as soon as the show starts. All right. Oh my God, come on. He's tapping on my leg. What the hell? Look, oh Jesus Christ. Sit down then. Stop. Just sit. Sit and don't be annoying. Then you can stay. You hear him purring? Say hi to everybody. Sit the fuck down, man. Holy shit. How can I have a show like this? You can't. You cannot have a show when your producer is such an obstruction. You're supposed to be producing. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Will you sit down and stop? Look how I got something in your eye. Let me see. Oh, brother. I know. He loves the Tarabuster show, Richard. Sit the fuck down, please. You're annoying me. All right. It would be better if he just sat. And, oh, wow. Look at this. Where did all the super chats go? That's so weird. They disappeared in the queue. I know there were some. Usually they show up. Look, I'll show you what I'm seeing. See, look at that. No super chats. That's weird. They disappeared. I hope that's not. I hope there's no bug. I hope Junior didn't do something. Anyway, whatever. This show's like off the rails tonight. But we're hanging out. Come on over to youtube.com/C for channel/Tarabuster. I have to say, I do have the phones open. If people want to call in, it's up to you. I will keep an eye on the phones. Where's the phone? Let me put the number up. If I have it. How are you going to call in if you don't know the number? If you want to call in. Nobody calls in now. That's the thing. When I open the phone, oh no, that's an on the phone tab. Is this the phone number? No. What the hell? Well, while I find the phone number, that's weird. What is the phone number? Well, it's 360-777-6007. I thought I had a thing for it. I can't seem to find it. Maybe I'll make one. But I can't do it. Okay. Whatever. Phones are open, but if you want to call in, don't worry about it. Either way. Okay. Back to what we were talking about. Excuse me. I know I'm getting crazy off the... And also, like I said, if you want a mug, gmail.com, tarabustermedia@gmail.com. So, anyway, okay, here's the thing. If you want to see the future Republicans have in store for us, look to Hungary. Look to Putin's Russia. Same thing. They want, anti-gay. If you're for the same things as an autocracy, then what do you think? Are you fighting for small d democracy? And one of the things, as I was saying, when Marjorie Traitor Green was on the stand under oath, the attorney was asking her about 1776, and she everything, even when he quoted the Declaration of Independence, because she was so coached, she didn't know how to answer. Should she say, I don't know, I don't agree, I don't recall? It was, fascinating. Then he was asking her, do you know about 1776? And it's clear. And then she was like, I'm not a historian. I don't know. Like, she doesn't know anything. You understand? These people, these Republicans, just like Marjorie Traitor Green, they are clueless what this country was founded as. That it was founded, she said something about, we rebelled against the crown. Okay? So we rebelled against the crown so we could create an autocracy here with an unfit con man at the top. All you got to do is just to understand how they don't have the best interest of this country at heart. You just watch her performance on the stand, the lies when confronted. Now, if you have the courage of your convictions, if you know what you're doing is right, then you will stick to those convictions. And of course, she spread her big lie. She didn't stop spreading the big lie. But everything else that she talked about, Nancy Pelosi's a traitor, these are things that she said. They came out of her mouth. We have video of it. They asked her if she, about her Twitter feed, her liking things like Nancy Pelosi. The quickest thing is to get rid of her is a bullet in the head. And she takes no responsibility. Party of personal responsibility. Well, if you are, if you think that you're right, why don't you have the courage of your convictions? If somebody put me on the stand and started asking me about what we talk about on this show, I would not change my tune up there. You know what I mean? Because we're right. I know that we're right, and I know that I would have the courage of these convictions. What does she have? She's got, lies. She has to know that she's full of shit. All right, get down. Will you please get down? Thank you. It's like, I love him, but I need my space on the show. It's like, and then he's like on my leg, moving around, just constantly moving. And I feel like these little claws. And he's supposed to be producing the show. But what is he doing? He's disrupting it. Right. Yeah, the lawyers were both too nice to her. That's the thing, Irene, on the chat. Yes, the lawyers were too nice. That's what I thought as well. I was like, this is ridiculous. This is the Democrats to a T yet again. Everybody has to play nice. She's hostile to him, to the attorney. He asked the judge if he could view her as a hostile witness or hostile whatever the hell, and he agreed. Hold on, we'll be right back. Right. Haiku on the chat. I don't recall which staffer liked that, she said. And the lawyer said, so it could have been you. Yes. Yes. I don't recall. And she, what if that was AOC, everyone? It wouldn't be. And the attorneys, this is the thing. They got to stop this baloney. All Democrats need to stop being nice. Stop playing nice with these effing traitors. Stop treating them with decency, dignity, and respect. They don't earn it. They don't deserve it. They need to be legally and peacefully excised from our body politic and shoved back into history's trash bin before they destroy this country once and for all. And that's what they're gonna do. It's critical race theory today that doesn't exist. Tomorrow it's gender studies. It's attacking people trying to save the lives of their children with gender-affirming health care, sticking their big, filthy Republican noses into a family's business, as if a family. That's the other thing. They so revile the American people. Of course they do, because they're trying to divide the American people along every fissure of disunity, along every distinction. They want to sever any ties that humanity has to each other. And that's not the recipe for a functioning democracy. E pluribus unum cannot coexist with I got mine, sucks to be you. Or I don't care. All lives matter. Whatever. And I wish all lives matter. I really do. But we know that they're full of shit. They're off the chain. This is not a political party anymore. This is a terrorist organization. And they're inside the pillars of power, and they're gnawing away. Let me show you something that I saw on Twitter today that kind of sums it up too. Well, and it really comes down to, like I'm saying, every fissure of disunity, every distinction without a difference, frankly, darker pigment, lighter pigment, everything to divide people. Whatever it might be, if you're, what peepee you have, whether you're gay, straight, or anything in between, every fissure of disunity. And these people are freaks. They're the groomers. They're the sexual predators who enable sexual predators. And we'll talk about Madison Cawthorn. Now it's trending on Twitter. Madison Cawthorn, these pictures came out of him wearing women's lingerie, women's bras, and drinking, and okay, whatever. That's fine. Okay, that's what you're into. You're a hypocrite. I don't care. You know what I mean? You're having fun. You're goofing around. You're wearing women's lingerie. I don't care if you're into it. If you're just a closet case, which could be, he's clearly disturbed, but you're a filthy hypocrite. If somebody wants to invite anybody to a sexual gathering, it's you. Hey, we're having a bit of a sexual gathering, a sex get-together. Would you like to attend our sexual get-together? Here's the tweet that I saw. Let me see. So, of course, what happened in Florida. Ron DeSantis, who is he's not an incipient fascist. He is a fascist. And he's starting in Florida. And their assaults on freedom, democracy, and e pluribus unum will only expand if he gets the chance, if we allow them to get the chance. And that's the other thing. I am tired. I don't know how about you, but I'm effing tired of every media pundit telling me that the Democrats are going to lose in the midterms. Okay? And that Kevin McCarthy is going to be the Speaker of the House, and that, when the Republicans take power, as if it's a freaking foregone conclusion. Every day, every morning, on Morning Joe, they have somebody on there. Joe Biden's down in the polls. He's got really bad poll numbers. Down in the polls. And the Democrats are going to lose in the midterms. So if that's not a foregone conclusion or a self-fulfilling prophecy, what is? Shut the fuck up with that. Instead of telling me that Joe Biden's message isn't breaking through and everybody's worried about gas and inflation, why don't you talk about what he's doing? Inform the American people, and inform the American people just who these sons of goddamn Nazi fascists are. Who these Republicans, and the why don't you do an expose? On Erdogan and how CPAC is going to do their friggin' meeting in Hungary. Because they are the same. And what a danger to democracy this is. And what a bunch of kooks. The bats are out of the belfry in the Republican Party. And they're a bunch of liars. And stop telling me that Joe Biden has a low poll numbers. Now, I got to tell you, keep repeating that, and that is the way it's going to be. Why don't you, it's a fascinating thing. It's called, the media has an agenda setting ability, and that's what it's called in communication studies. It's the agenda setting. So why don't you start saying that Joe Biden is doing a great job here or there, or, and watch those poll numbers change. You know what I mean? But why don't you inform the American people what he's doing to tackle inflation, or I mean, or any other decent move he's making, trying to help this country, instead of what the Republicans do, which is absolutely nothing. They do nothing except solidify their power. So, for example, in Florida, Ron DeSantis, who is a fascist, took the power from the legislature to draw the maps in the voting. And the fact is, one of the provisions in I don't remember if it was the John Lewis Voting Rights Act or the other one the Democrats are trying to pass, called for nonpartisan, independent maps, election, enough with the gerrymandering. Just a nonpartisan, independent group would draw the electoral maps, which is an entirely, overwhelmingly popular policy. Uh-oh, now these cats are fighting. Great. Stop it. Ray is good. Ray is good. All day with the hissing at Ray. You see, Junior? What are you going to do? So, and Ron DeSantis is surgically attacking the communities of darker pigment. All right. No, I know. Stay there. You stay. Stay. God damn it. I'm going to have to put him in the bedroom. He's getting on my nerves. I love him, but, Where'd he go? Oh, good. He's in the other room. Be good. That's my instruction. Okay, so the representatives who had darker pigment representing their communities were objecting to this clearly partisan and really unconstitutional and illegal assault against their voters, frankly. Hold on. This is Tara Devlin hanging out. All right. So here's a tweet that a Republican tweeted out. And this representative, Michelle Rayner Goolsby, responded. So the original tweet from this Florida rep, Alex, how do you pronounce his name? Andrade, Andrade, says, so he has a picture of the Capitol insurrectionists on one side and the Democratic representatives, a picture of the Democratic representatives in the Florida legislature. And he says, the resemblance is uncanny. House Dems staging insurrections is apparently cool now. Now, let me ask you a question. How are these two pictures even remotely similar? One is a picture of a bunch of traitors who disrupted the peaceful transfer of power based on a big lie. They're not representatives. They're just dupes. They're low information, low effort thinking, low IQ, fascist traitors who hate America, who hate democracy, and ran through the Capitol chanting "Hang Mike Pence." The other is a picture of legally elected representatives on the floor of the House of Representatives. And this effing white, why is it always a white guy? I mean, honestly, enough. He correlates them to insurrectionists, and that says it all. Because see, the fact is, and then this is what I responded, as you know, anyone with darker pigment, especially elected reps, anywhere near the halls of power, is considered an insurrection by the GOP traitors to democracy, like Representative Alex Andrade, an incipient fascist. They can't help it. You see, it's overflowing in their rotten souls. You see what I'm saying? So they see legally elected representatives on the floor of the House of the Representatives as an insurrection. Of course they do. This is what it comes down to. It's always come down to that. It is, you just scratch the surface of all of this bullshit and you will find racism. Absolutely. Because they cannot function in a free, multiracial, democratic republic. They can only pretend to love it. They don't love it. They don't love America. Because you cannot love America and hate half the people in it. And try to do everything you can to ensure that you remain in power and they remain disenfranchised. We're trying to rectify this so we can finally have a more perfect union. You know, that's why the founders talked about a more perfect union. That things would change, that we would evolve. That's why they made the Constitution a living document. It's not written in stone. We could amend it because times would change. And as George Washington said in all his racism and flaws himself, that he hoped that the United States would grow ever in liberality. As an example to the world. And that's what we're trying to do. But Republicans can't handle it. And so we get fascism. This is their response to democracy. So Michelle, the representative, responds. She took this tweet and clipped it and said, and she responded, Michelle Raynar Goolsbee responded, glad you're finally accepting that January 6th is an insurrection. And 2, we are elected members of the Florida House. I serve the people of Florida. All of them. We have a right to be on the chamber floor. And I will continue to use my voice for good to protect our democracy. I mean, this to me, it's almost unfathomable that this person would tweet this and think that he's like owning the libs, you know? He's got them. Oh, dunk, slam dunk. See? You got to look at that insurrection. Look at the insurrection of legally elected representatives standing on the floor of the House objecting to this unconstitutional power grab and disenfranchisement. You know what? How much longer? You know? How much longer, guys? How much longer are we going to take it? It never stops. They never stop. But this is what it comes down to. And that's why they don't want to talk about race. It's unbelievable. But, you know, what am I saying? Unbelievable. I'm sure you saw Ron DeSantis. The fascist Ron DeSantis banning math textbooks for so-called critical race theory. Any mention of race is now critical race theory. God, get me out of here. Look at this guy's face. How can I can't. I cannot stand it. I can't handle it. If this person, he wants to be president, if this country elects this fascist, we're in big trouble. First of all, if the country elects this fascist, the Republican assault on democracy, that's what it was about. They are not a majority. They're a minority party. They're not meant to be a majority. They can't handle it. They need to be in the minority. They don't need power because that will distract them from the work they have to do on themselves, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, intellectually. They need to get help for their sickness so they can function in democracy. But they won't do that because they're cowards. So rather than make themselves fit for democracy, they want to drag us back to their dark, disgusting, dark ages level. Here's from the Washington Post. Valerie Strauss writes, days after announcing that it had rejected 41% of math textbooks submitted by publishers. Can you believe these fascists? Some of them because of references to critical race theory and other quote-unquote prohibited topics. The land of the free. The freedom lovers, right? They just love freedom, Republicans. But here's your list of prohibited topics. Where have I heard this before? In history. Anybody? A couple of guesses. Starts with an N and ends with a Otzi. Okay, we're back. Tara Devlin, Unapologetic Liberal Talk. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. Become a patron, patreon.com/Tara Devlin. And if you're around on Friday evenings, come on over to youtube.com/C for channel/Tarabuster to hang out with the best chat room in all of liberal media. And I'm not kidding. I'm not just saying that. So, okay, prohibited topics. How they get away with this? How they get away with framing it like that and not smacking themselves in the face and saying, whoa, hold on. When do Democrats ever talk about we're going to pass laws against we're going to make prohibited topics in education? Prohibited topics. It's frightening, frankly. It really is. Okay, we have prohibited topics. The Florida Department of Education on Thursday released 4 examples of lessons it considers unacceptable. Last week, the department said that some of the rejected textbooks, 54 of 132, were not aligned with Florida's content standards, called the benchmarks of excellent student thinking. Wow, that sounds right out of the Nazi playbook. It really does. Benchmarks for excellent student thinking. And it's not. They hate students and thinking and excellence. Benchmarks, they hate them too because they can't compete. They can't legally and peacefully compete. There goes Tara Jr. What are you doing? Oh, he found a mouse. Yeah, that's good. He's distracted with a toy. Good boy. Get that mouse. Not a real mouse, a play mouse. We don't have mice here. Okay. Reasons for rejecting textbooks included references to critical race theory, inclusions of Common Core, and unsolicited addition of social emotional learning. Yeah, no, you can't have that. You can't have social, emotional, and learning. You can't have anything social because you're supposed to be divided. You can't have anything emotional because you can't be a crybaby. You need to suck it up, booby, and accept your role as nothing but a host from which to suck profit. And if you don't like that, go to church and pray to Joel Osteen, and maybe you can, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and marry a billionaire. Oh, shit, he's back. The department came under criticism for not releasing any examples, so on Thursday it did. One of the examples involved a graph that shows results of a test that measures levels of racial prejudice. Another shows a social emotional learning objective that says students build proficiency with social awareness as they practice with empathizing with classmates. Oh my God. That's frightening. Empathizing with classmates? Who wants that? You can't do that. This is not e pluribus unum. We can't have any e pluribus unum in this bitch. We need nothing but F you. F you, I got mine. The weak. Oh, you can't keep up. You're going to be trampled. This is like right out of Hitler Youth. Really. Read anything on the Hitler Youth, what they taught, what the Nazis taught youth, how they indoctrinated the youth with their sickness. It's like, and Ron DeSantis said, what did he say? We want to educate kids, not indoctrinate. What do you think this is? Not indoctrinate. You're teaching children that being a selfish prick. I mean, this is what Republicans are doing. They're teaching kids to be sexual predators, to be selfish pricks, to be greedy, to be, like Trump, to be like, grab them by the pussy, call them a fat pig. If they hit you, you hit back 10 times harder. This turn the other cheek thing never got us anywhere. Remember? Right? Oh, they love Jesus, though. And that's what they're teaching. And they're teaching kids not to care about their fellow American, not to care about the history of this country, not to know the history of this country. As if it's because they are, of course, they're fascists, but they say, for example, when I told you about that person who, wrote me on a YouTube comment I made about this racist asshole, whatever, just to summarize. And I said, and I mentioned that Republicans can't. I mentioned that the person with darker pigment was attacked by this white asshole who interjected himself into somebody's business, and he did that clearly because the person had darker pigment, and there's no way in the world this person would have injected himself into the business of a white man. There is just no way. And I mentioned, I commended him for the way he responded so calmly, and I said, well, must be because that's what happens growing up with darker pigment in this racist ass country. Yeah, you learn, I suppose, to contain yourself because you might get shot, right? You have to bite your tongue. You have to be like, yes sir, no sir. You have to de-escalate constantly when these white scumbags put their filthy Republican nose in your business. And I said something about, Republicans, hate America, all the stuff we talk about here. They can only pretend to love this country. They're unfit, all this stuff, right? And this person responded that I hated America because I called it a racist ass country. Okay? And no. They hate America. They hate America. Because we, normal people, we see this country. We're here. We're born here. We know we're not idiots like Marjorie Traitor Green. We know the history of this country. We understand this is a nation of immigrants. It was created on an idea, not on any kind of bloodline, unless you're a Native American. And even then, it's not created with your interests in heart, that's for sure. So it was created as a nation of immigrants. And, you know, in order to and it was founded as a slave society, one of the slave societies throughout history. This is one of them. So that's our history, and it has to be reconciled if we want to have a functioning democracy. So they hate America. You understand? Because if you loved this country, you'd be able to see it for all its possibilities and do anything, do whatever it takes to make a more perfect union. And that includes recognizing its flaws. That includes, because if you don't recognize the flaws, you cannot recognize the solution. It's like being a drunk in denial. Being in recovery, you know, I know a little bit about that. You have to confront yourself. You have to look at yourself and all of your strengths and weaknesses. Take an inventory. If what's working, what's not working. If you have if you have a large portion of your society that's saying Black Lives Matter, you don't say, all lives matter. F off. You say, okay, let's talk about it. Why? How did we get here? What can we do to make it better, to make it work for all? That's patriotism. We love America. Republicans don't love this country. They hate it. They don't want to. They love the caricature of selfishness as freedom. That's why they want to destroy public education, because they don't want a common story. They hate, and that's why they talk about collectivism. Well, what the fuck is a country, assholes? What is e pluribus unum? How do you rectify that with Ayn Rand, your hero, or Erdogan, or Putin? All right, we're back. We're talking about Ron DeSantis, his fascism. So here, let me see. Let me show you what I'm looking at from the Washington Post. Probably too small to see, but it's kind of blurry for me anyway. I think the screen grab itself was blurry. Let's see if I can open it. Yeah, it's very blurry. The bar graph shows the differences among age groups on an implicit association test that measures levels of racial prejudice. Higher scores indicate stronger bias. So what? Yes, son of a bitches. We're talking about it because we live in a multiracial democratic republic, and we need to friggin' get to the bottom of racism. Rectify the prejudices, see it in society, and do something about it. What the hell is wrong with that? Honestly, that's why we talk about not just universal higher education, paying for public education through the general fund, not through property taxes, and having universal health care. All of these policies like that are required to have a more perfect union. We need to unify this country. And these are the ways you do it. But Republicans would be, see, they want all the benefits of civilization, but none of the responsibilities we have to each other. That's the bottom line. Because they are racist. Okay? I mean, prove me wrong. I want to be proven wrong. So let me see. What does this say here? Disclaimer, based on the volume of requests the department has received for examples of problematic, okay, this is their language, elements of the recently reviewed instructional materials, the following examples provided by the department to the public and presented The following are examples provided to the department by the public and presented no conflict in sharing them. These examples do not represent an exhaustive list of input received by the department. Yeah, any mention of race had to be excised. Just like we have to get rid of all trans people and all gay people and all any people who are different. They need to be excised. We cannot have it, right? This is what they're doing. The department is continuing to give publishers the opportunity to remediate all deficiencies. Is that a word? Remediate. What? Remediate. All deficiencies identified during the review to ensure the broadest selection of high quality instructional materials are available. Yeah, right. Okay. Adding and subtracting polynomials. What? Me? Racist? More than 2 million people have tested their racial prejudice using an online version of the implicit association test. Oh my God! You know, you never want to look at yourself, and look at your implicit bias. It's sort of like everyone has it because we grow up in this racist ass society. We grow up in this homophobic society, and it's reflected, whether we know it or not. I know I have it. I know, for example, as far as my own internalized homophobia, like when I was younger, now I don't. I mean, I recognize it. I would, you say things like, oh, that's so gay. Things like that. That's homophobia. I would say that, but you think it's innocuous, but it's actually damaging. So as I grew older and I became more aware, you stop doing things like that because you're not an idiot anymore. You're growing up. You're not an infant. You're not a perpetual infant and in fact, your uncomfortability is nature's way of nudging us to change. That's why Republicans are all like, oh, white kids we don't want little white snowflakes to be uncomfortable, because that means they might change into better people, and we can't have that. We have to, in order to have a Republican Party, you need the worst people. You need your base to be the absolute worst human beings on the planet. And if they're uncomfortable, they might say, oh, shit. It's sort of like when you put your hand on a flame, you got to take your hand away. That's nature's way of saying, oops, there's pain there. Don't do that. So when you're uncomfortable, when you become aware of your implicit biases, maybe you become uncomfortable, and then you recognize it and you start changing it for the better. So everybody can have a nice society. We can all live together in this tiny blip of time. We can all make the best of it. But these bastards, that's not what they want. That's why they're selling they're selling I mean, everything is a grift. They're selling the grift of heaven. You know, oh, you're going to make it to heaven. Don't worry about this earth, because don't worry, you know, you got the mansion waiting for you in heaven. Oh, God. 2 million people have tested their racial prejudice using an online version of the implicit association test. Most groups' average scores fall between slight and moderate bias, but the differences among groups by age and by political identification are intriguing. Oh, yeah, why would you study anything? If you study something, you might become aware, and then you might want to change. And who needs change? You know, we're going backwards. Where's the other one here? Let me see. Lesson objectives. Students identify numbers from 1 to 5 in a sequence, understanding that each successive number name is referring to an amount that is one larger. Okay, where's the bias? Students identify the next successive number to 5 when counting by stating the number. To cultivate conversation and optimize output, ELs will participate. Students build proficiency with social awareness. Oh, here's the problem, I see. Students build proficiency with social awareness as they practice empathizing with classmates. You can't have that. Empathy is, what did Ayn Rand? Well, she said altruism is evil. So empathy is probably right up there with Antifa. They do a lot of empathizing in Antifa, I think. Well, I know they did, when the Antifas stormed the beaches of Normandy, they did a lot of empathizing because they empathized with an entire continent falling to fascism and were willing to sacrifice their very lives to stop it. All those Antifas. I see a lot of Antifas when I go into Calvary Cemetery. There are Antifas who made the ultimate sacrifice in there. Right on their headstones it says Normandy invasion. It breaks my heart. I stop. I look at their headstones. I think about these young men. Not just Normandy invasion. It'll say 1944 Italy, North Africa, all over the globe. Right? Saipan. I've seen it all. Well, not me personally, but I've seen all the tombstones of people who they lost their lives in foreign lands fighting fascism. All these Antifas. Unbelievable. Social and emotional learning. We can't have that. Guys. Oh my God. This is the end of the Progressive Voices part of this show, but don't worry, there's more show at youtube.com/c4channel/Tarabuster. Please go and hang out with the greatest chat room in the whole universe. Become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. Join our Discord page and hang out in between shows. We will win. That is the truth. Because we're on the right side of history. We are the patriots. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy. We stick together. We win. E pluribus unum. My name is Tara Devlin. I'll see you soon. All right, not too bad, that one. Building Student Agency. This unit introduces students to the, what is blocked off there? To the redacted. Now that's some real, what's the word he used? Prohibited topic. That must be a real prohibited topic. Can you believe this dolt is telling us what a prohibited topic is. This dullard, this dupe, this self-serving sycophant of a con man. I don't know. I think he's Ivy League educated, right? He's another one like Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz. They're just a bunch of self-serving climbers. Look at this. Wait. Oh, look. I was trying to find the DeSantis. I'm sure I have it. Where's my eCam? There it is. Oops, I keep hitting the wrong button. Sorry. Wow. Can't find it. Where's that DeSantis Trump ad? That's absolutely, it's honestly embarrassing. I am embarrassed for him. Build that wall. And let me tell you about my husband, Ron. He's a real Trump sucker. Build the wall. Yeah, why? Why would you build the wall? Oh, right. You're racist. See? Why do you keep proving me right? Republicans? I just shut the phones down. Not that we needed them tonight, I guess. Let's look at Madison Cawthorn while we're at it. If you really want to puke. It's getting some traction, apparently. Madison Cawthorn says lingerie pics came from a goofy vacation cruise. Goofy? Photographs of Representative Madison Cawthorn, the North Carolina Republican who recently claimed he had been invited to orgies by other D.C. lawmakers, emerged Friday of the freshman legislature. Pictures emerged of him wearing lingerie. The pics were obtained by Politico, which said it was unable to authenticate the shots, but Cawthorn, 26, and he's not an old 26. He's a young 26. And also an abhorrent 26. I met some 26-year-olds who aren't dumbasses. But he's not one of them. Not that I ever met him, but he is not smart. He's an idiot. I guess that's a qualification. Not just for being a Republican, but for being a fascist. You have to be kind of dumb. Dumb or sociopathic. Yeah, I guess I think that's pretty solid hypothesis. The pictures were obtained by Politico. Okay, yes. He confirmed it. Photos of himself in a bustier, whatever. Bustier, how do you pronounce that? Bustier and bra, partying with two unidentified women were real. Cawthorn, who has called the LGBTQ community filth. Yeah, filth. We're filth. We're evil, right? We need bullets in our heads. We're pedophiles, right? This is who they are. Unfit to hold leadership positions in a modern nation. Come on, Democrats. Get with the program. Republicans are unfit. They're unfit to lead a drunken conga line. They're unfit. this unfit Madison Cawthorn was unfit to be on a cruise with a bunch of women. Look what happened. It devolves into him being a just an embarrassment to himself. Whatever. It's, if you want to put on a bra, you want to do whatever you do, fine. But you're a hypocrite. I guess the left thinks goofy vacation photos during a game on a cruise taken way before I ran for Congress is going to somehow hurt me. They're running out of things to throw at me. No, it's not about, who cares? Okay. He's saying it was, he links to a game on a cruise. I don't see anybody else wearing lingerie. Look, here's the cruise he linked to. I was on a cruise playing a goofy game. Do you see anyone else wearing lingerie? There's a bunch of people sitting around. Okay. Oh, I see. Well, this is, that's what qualifies for proof in Republican land. Just link random to some rando cruise shot. I'm trying to find the pictures. I'm sure they're everywhere to show you. Madison Cawthorn. I don't care that Madison Cawthorn likes to wear lingerie in his free time. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect me. He wants to be playful with his gender expression. It's his life. Exactly. This is what a Twitter user is writing. I do care that Madison Cawthorn attacks trans people and shames us for living our lives. Exactly. You see? That's what it's about. Play. If you wanna wear bras, go for it. But, don't call LGBTQ people filth. You're filth for calling people filth. God, I wish I was wrong. You know what I mean? Where is everybody? What is going on in the chat? How are we doing in the chat? Yes, 26 is his IQ as well. That's right, Jim, on the chat. Winston says, Cawthorn likes 90s? Like to wear? Yes. Or, yes. It's unreal. Well, Matt, and then on the chat, where is it? Winston Smith. Or is that Getz? Matt Getz. Well, Matt Getz was in the courtroom supporting Marjorie Traitor Green, as she didn't recall anything that she ever did. But, which is good, because when he's on the stand in his child sex trafficking case, I'm sure she can go and support him. I wonder if Marjorie Taylor Greene is a serial adulterer, so it wouldn't whatever. She's another hypocrite. And the thing about her, we know that she cheated on her husband many times because apparently she was open about it. Like, she had that much disrespect for her husband that she openly cheated on him without apology. That's who she... maybe they have an open relationship. I don't know. I didn't seem to be the case in the things that I read. And in fact, one of her... Well, she cheated on her husband with the owner of the gym that she was doing her CrossFit. She's another fake business person. She supposedly had a business. It was her family's business. She did nothing but go to CrossFit and, live on the dole of her family. And then she called herself a businesswoman. That's who they are. But so one of the men was was the owner of the gym. The other was a polyamorous tantric sex guru. Could you imagine? She's so gross. And then they asked the guy about her, and he said, and this was the tantric sex guru, the polyamorous tantric sex guru, said, I want nothing to do with Marjorie Traitor Green. Everything she touches is destroyed. He's something like that. So I mean, talk about somebody who has a lot of lovers, right? If he's a polyamorous tantric sex guru, and Marjorie Traitor Green was a bridge too far. Well, that's what happens when you go to town on a horse-faced, two-toed traitor. Unbelievable. So I don't think, frankly, on some level, if they do not remove Marjorie Traitor Green from office, it's only going to embolden her and them. And if they do remove her, it's the same thing. She will, of course, cry that she's being attacked, but she needs to get the fuck out of Congress. These people are an embarrassment to the country, more than just the Republican Party. What does the rest of the world think of this? We know that autocrats are, they're pleased. Oh no. That's terrible. I'm looking at a video of a rat pulling a rat. I don't want to see that. Yeah, let's look at the Herman Cain Awards. There's other things I wanted to talk about, but I'm looking at the time, and I don't know if we have a lot of time. How much time we got? We got 20 minutes. And how's the chat doing tonight? Yes, she's got roid rage. I don't doubt it. Haiku. Something's wrong with it. That's the thing. Like, as I started the show talking about it, watching Marjorie Traitor Green, I was trying to put myself in the shoes of a Republican, I was sitting there thinking, because I have the ability to empathize, not like they do. They hate empathy because that's too human. They want to be parasites. So, and I was thinking, what's the appeal here? And I really wondered if they all knew that they're all a bunch of liars. You know what I mean? It's sort of like a collective delusion, where it's an unspoken truth that they all know that they're lying, but they've told that lie so many times it now becomes their truth. Obviously, that's the way it is for Kevin McCarthy, which is another thing. What's the consequences of Kevin McCarthy? He's a liar. He literally lied to the face of the American people and everybody else. But now the story is, and if you don't know, Kevin McCarthy swore up and down that he never said anything about Trump, that he never said he was I'm paraphrasing, he was a traitor, and that he wanted him to leave office. And obviously he's like, oh, I always supported the con man. I thought, wait a minute. I thought I had it. Where's Democratic Underground? Yes, here it is. They had an image that summed it up nicely. Let's see. Kevin McCarthy's defense. On April 21st, he says, according to the New York Times report, McCarthy told the House GOP leadership team in a January 10th phone call that he would tell Trump to resign if he is impeached. A spokesman for McCarthy, Mark Bednar, denied that McCarthy had relayed plans to ask Trump to resign. He did not say that. Quote. Okay. Later that day, the New York Times reporting on me is totally false and wrong. I mean, these are filthy fascist liars. Later that night, a recording is released. In the recording of a January 10th, 2021 House leadership call, House Republican leadership call posted by the Times on Thursday night, McCarthy is heard discussing the Democratic effort to remove Trump from office and saying that he would tell Trump, I think it will pass, and it would be my recommendation that you should resign. And he also said that he didn't want Pence pardoning him, which means he was aware that Trump committed a crime. Because you're not pardoning somebody for what? For not committing a crime. You're pardoning people if they're committing crimes. So what will be the consequences of Kevin McCarthy's lies? And this is another example of, and now it's coming out that it is Elise Stefanik, who is a vile sycophant. She wants to be the leader of the House. At first, the Republicans, I want to stand there and go, shh, they're eating themselves. Shh. But we have to encourage them to eat themselves and to expose themselves, because what's the consequences? They never seem to face any consequences. And like I was reading earlier in the Huffington Post, where by Stephen Crockett Jr., he writes, he was talking about all of the lies that Republicans tell, and it never seems to matter. Right? So he's talking about Madison Cawthorn. He says since taking office, he's claimed that he was training for the Paralympics. That's not true. While this, and then he said, the Paralympics confirmed that. While the statement isn't necessarily false, it's most on, he could be training on his spare time, but he's not enrolled. But let me explain. Before I got married, I would tell women I was dating that I was well on my way to playing in the NBA until an unfortunate knee injury removed my basketball dreams. If you asked anyone in the NBA, they would give you some same stunning quizzical look this is the writer saying this, the same quizzical looks that Ketanji Brown Jackson gave during her Supreme Court confirmation hearing. But that doesn't mean I didn't believe I was training to get into the league. I mean, he's giving Cawthorn the benefit of the doubt, but why? He doesn't deserve it. My assessment of Cawthorn is not a personal reflection. One of the lawmaker's former staff members called him a bad person and a habitual liar. And we know that. We talked about that on the last show. And she said he's a habitual liar and who's going to say anything he can to your face, but behind your back, he's completely the opposite. So the writer says, here's the rub. Despite all of these tall tales that would likely sink a Democrat's political future and all but ensure that they would be a one-term politician, Cawthorn is merely in a tight race for his seat. This appears to be the way for the Republican Party. Candidates can be as vile, despicable, untrustworthy, horrid, deplorable, unpatriotic, and whatever other adjectives one would use to describe Florida Senator Ted Cruz as they want, while Democrats are forced to be the parents in the room. Currently, Democrats are facing tough questions around inflation, the war in Ukraine, gas prices, housing prices, and climate change. As it stands, Republicans' latest hustle appears to be blaming President Biden for everything from Russia's invasion of Ukraine to high gas prices. The shots against the president were so bad that Republican Rep. Adam Kinzinger came to his defense after House Republicans' official Twitter account tweeted a photo of Biden walking away from the podium. Okay? Yeah, like, because he's not supposed to walk away from a podium. What's he supposed to do? Well, if you're an autocrat, I guess you're supposed to get the litter to come out with a bunch of slaves who carry you. Or maybe like Trump, you get a bunch of hot model types, right? And then they lead you like with fireworks shooting off and flanked by what's his name? Kyle Rittenhouse. All the Kyle Rittenhouse fanfare. I guess, yeah, that's how you should walk away from a podium. Right? So the shots were against President Biden were so bad, Adam Kinzinger came to his defense and after the GOP official GOP Twitter account tweeted a photo of Biden walking away from the podium with the caption, "This is what weakness on the world stage looks like." Really? It looks like somebody walking away? I would say weakness looks like, let's see. Putin looks like this. Right? July 16th, 2018. Helsinki. Trump disgraces the USA again. That's what weakness on the world stage looks like. Biden is doing an amazing job uniting the Western democratic world, and thanks to Biden and other democracies, NATO is on the ascendance, not on the decline as Trump wants. Yeah, pay up. Yeah, I told them to pay up. Oh my God. Have you seen the clip, speaking of Zelensky and Trump? I'll try to find that after this. Hold on. So Adam Kinzinger responds as he says, as still technically a member of the House Republicans, let me with all my might condemn this damn awful tweet during this crisis. You can criticize policy, but this is insane and feeds into Putin's narrative. It's true. They hate America. That's why when we have problems, when we have inflation that the whole world is suffering from, Republicans don't want to come with meet with Democrats and come up with a solution or something to ease the pain. They want you to be in pain, because that will bolster their political prospects. They want to use it as political fodder so they can unseat their small d Democratic opponents and solidify autocracy once and for all. If they loved America, what are you doing? Trust me, if this were World War II, right? If we were living in World War II with these Republicans, they would be attacking FDR. They would be siding with Hitler. There is no doubt in my mind. CPAC would broadcast from Berlin. Of course. Oh my, they wouldn't be walking around with these fake ass military uniforms. This is what they do now. They so want to bring on a fascist autocracy. And they see it within sight. So the article continues, it's not just an attempt to undermine the presidency. It falls in line with what appears to be the Republican agenda, tearing the country apart while pushing wild conspiracy theories and manufactured beefs. Representative Marjorie Traitor Green has said that Muslims don't belong in government. Mass shootings in Parkland, Sandy Hook, and Las Vegas were staged. And California wildfires were not natural events, but were actually started by secret Jewish space lasers. And she believed all of this before she was elected to Congress. Can you believe this? Currently, the junior varsity Trump, Ron DeSantis, is in a fight with Disney over the state's draconian and mind-numbingly stupid Don't Say Gay bill. While America has its eyes on the unprovoked war in Ukraine, the Florida governor is in an all-out war with the greatest place on earth. Because Congress is not a unified front, Democrats are busy governing the country and putting out Jewish laser forest fires that Republicans keep starting. The Congress has never been a happy home, but what used to be the outliers to a fundamental way of thinking have now become the basis of the aluminum foil party. They're wasting no time fighting imaginary wars against so-called cancel culture, which does not exist, and wokeism, which for the uninitiated can easily be defined as anything that goes against GOP doctrine. By tearing down the fourth wall of decorum, Republicans have created a playroom that allows for meltdowns, temper tantrums, out there theories, and unsubstantiated statements, which enables them to be full-bodied politicians who can present however they choose. The party that once prided itself fiscally as responsible or closer to God than the rest of us is now the party of insurrectionists, crusades against critical race theory, and defending Vladimir Putin. And they aren't losing voters because of it. It's like one day the Republican Party had a spine, albeit a significantly crooked spine, and that pointed to archaic jurisprudence and racism, but a spine nonetheless. And then Donald Trump took office, and blunt, cut the off-the-cuff, unadulterated, the unfiltered sound bites became the new GOP. This isn't the party that former President and GOP god Ronald Reagan exemplified. In fact, Reagan probably wouldn't sit at this Republican cafeteria table. But this is the shakily built political landscape that we live in which up is down and the right is allowed to be not only batshit crazy, but, well, he says potentially criminal. They are criminal, in my opinion. Currently, Florida Rep. Matt Gaetz is facing accusations that he had sex with a 17-year-old girl and engaged in sex trafficking. Not only has he not resigned from office, but he's one of the most outspoken politicians in Congress. Ohio Senator Jim Jordan's entire time in public office will forever be shrouded by the claims of the former Ohio State wrestlers that during his time as assistant wrestling coach, Jordan knew that the student athletes were being sexually assaulted and did nothing to stop it. And don't forget that in 2018, Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore was so allegedly predatory that the New Yorker reported that he was banned from the local mall because he preyed on teens. And he barely lost his election. But I'm sure there is an explanation as to how Republicans lost their moral compass. If we could only get access to Hillary Clinton's emails or Hunter Biden's laptop, I'm sure we'll find it. Right? You see? I thought that was excellent and summed it up nicely. really what we're up against. There's and what we're talking about, what I keep saying for years. There's no consequences for these people. It never comes back to bite them in the ass. Nothing. They can be sex traffickers of underage girls. They can lie about being accepted into the Naval Academy. There's a record. You know what I mean? You can't lie about that. You have to be, you need to be sponsored by your local congressperson or senator. You know what I mean? There is a record. You have to, if you're accepted or not, people know about it. It gets into the newspapers. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Biden said recently, oh, gee, he said, Christ, they're going after Mickey Mouse now. But where's angry Biden? I wish I had grabbed this clip of Trump and Zelensky. I'm not sure if you saw it. Maybe next time. Where is it? And he was like, yeah, pay up. And Zelensky's face said it all. He was just like, who is this fucking con man? I know I shouldn't curse, but who is... Wait, I know I clipped it. Wait. Where is it? Let me show you what I'm looking at. These are all the clips I make. When I see something, I clip it. Clip it for the show. Clip. I know I clipped a picture of Zelensky. What's this? Oh, yeah. Look at this. Rubio received $1.5 million in campaign donations from Russian oligarch-linked firm. They're all a bunch of... They're traitors. Oh, here's another one. Tim Nolan, Donald Trump's campaign chairman in Kentucky until he was charged with 28 felonies, including rape, human trafficking, witness tampering, prostitution, unlawful transaction with a minor, and sodomy. Party of family values, of course, right? That's... Chuck Todd, what's this? What's that? Meet the Press? Oh, yeah. Another poll. Yeah, whatever. I'm only wasting time. Oh, here's a picture I could show you right here off the internet because we only have like 3 minutes left of the show. But this is the photo that says it all.
Real cowboys customize and save with
All
Liberty
right.
Mutual.
I'll lower that ad. That's a bra ad ending in 2 seconds. How's everybody's doing? Here it is. Here's a clip.
Pressure him. All of this, of course, resulted in Donald Trump's first impeachment, but we tend to see Trump's Ukraine debacle in terms of its domestic political consequences
I thought that was a clip.
in America. The consequences for Ukraine were far more serious. What Ukraine needed was for Trump to support its new untested, uncorrupt president on the world stage, so he was taken seriously by his neighbors, including Russia, and by his fellow citizens, so that he could be the real leader he needed to be in fending off Vladimir Putin. Instead, Donald Trump chose to try to leverage the situation for his own political gain. And for President Zelensky's congressionally approved military...
You see this picture? Here comes the goddamn end of the show. Guys, Yeah, it was an interesting show tonight. A lot of cat interference. A lot of me fumbling around. I apologize, but I do appreciate you guys hanging out because we will win. And yes, Lavender Liger, how could so many people have no conscience? I have no idea. That's the problem. I wrestle with it constantly, especially watching Marjorie Traitor Green. But I know we will win. We're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy. We stick together. We win. My name is Tara Devlin. I'll see you soon. All right, that's the end of the show. But let's see. Now that we can just relax and be ourselves a little bit. Where the fuck is that? Let me see. If you haven't seen this clip, Trump Zelensky video, it's sickening. Maybe this is it. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Oh my God. Oh my God. Help me. Here we go.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor.
Thank you very much, Mr.
President
President.
Zelensky, have you felt any pressure from President Trump to investigate Joe Biden and Hunter Biden?
I think you read everything. So I think you read text.
Look at Trump's.
Sorry, but I don't want to be involved to democratic, open, elections of USA. No, you heard that we had, I think, good phone call. It was normal. We spoke about many things, and so I think, and you read it, that nobody pushed me.
Yeah. Look at his face.
No pressure.
No pressure. Perfect.
Because you know what? There was no pressure. And you know there was, and by the way, you know there was no pressure. All you have to do is see it, what went on the call.
Shut up.
But you could ask the question, and I appreciate the answer. Go ahead.
Mr. President, would you like President Zelensky to do more on Joe Biden and investigate?
No, I want him to do whatever he can. This was not his
whatever
fault.
he
wasn't
can.
there. He's just been here recently.
Ew.
Whatever he can do in terms of corruption, because the corruption is massive.
You're corrupt.
When Biden's son walks away with millions
What?
of dollars from
Oh,
Ukraine,
what about
he knows
the
nothing,
patents and the
paying billions
billions?
of dollars, that's corruption.
Oh my
when
God.
Biden's son walks out of China with $1.5 billion
Wow.
in a fund, and the biggest funds in the world can't get money out of China,
Well,
and he's there for one quick meeting, and he flies in on Air Force Two. I think
This
that's
is
a
incredible.
horrible thing. I think it's a
Horrible,
thing, but I'm
horrible,
going far
corrupt.
Beyond that. I know the president, and I've read a lot about Ukraine. I've read a lot about a lot
You've
of countries.
read?
He wants to stop corruption. He was elected, I think, number one on the basis of stopping corruption, which unfortunately has plagued Ukraine. And if he
Like
could do that,
you
he's
wanna
doing
plague
really the
United
whole world a big
States.
favor. I know, and I think he's going to be successful.
Mr. President, on Rudy Giuliani, why do you think it's appropriate for your personal attorney to get involved in government business?
Well, you'd have to ask Rudy. I will tell you this, that Rudy's looking to also find out where the phony witch hunt started, how it started. You had a Russian witch hunt that turned out to be 2.5 years
bullshit.
of phony
Oh,
nonsense.
a lot of people went to
Rudy
jail
Giuliani is a
about
great lawyer.
phony
He's a great
nonsense.
mayor. He's highly respected. I've watched the passion that he's had on television over the last few days.
So passionate.
I think it's incredible the way he's done. What he's out is he wants to find out where, looking at that too, where did it start, the enablers,
All
where
right,
did it
what,
all come from? It was out of thin air. And I think he's got...
That's not even the clip I was looking for. I was looking for a clip there. He was like, I made him pay up. NATO, pay up. Everybody's got to pay. And I'm talking about money. Got to get pay. Oh, my God. What a vile person. Can anybody explain it to me? I'm serious. I know, right? Irene on the chat. Make it stop. How can anybody want that back? How can anybody want it to begin with? It's so baffling to me. And you know what? It has to be, in order to want that and want that back, that thing that we just heard and saw, that ugly face, that gross, giant, poor, orange disaster, it has to speak to something vile and ugly inside of the person who seeks it. So, wow. There's so many horrible people? Are they that sick? I guess so. But it really does, frankly, it comes down to racism. It's racism. That's the ugly illness that Trump appeals to. It's racism. It's, greed, all of that is, for average Joe morons, is really can be boiled down to racism. The greed is racism. The selfishness is racism. Because they just don't have the ability to share a civilization with people who are different than them. And all we got to do, the last thing we'll do, sometimes I enjoy this, we can do it together. I mean, I don't really enjoy it, but I look at the conservative Reddit page, and you could, let's look together, and we could see right away. CNN. Okay, I have information that will lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton. Where is this from? CNN. Oh, they're saying that Hillary Clinton killed CNN Plus. This is obviously a fake tweet. I have information. So there's a tweet supposedly from CNN Plus. No context, no, who's I? We're still on this shit. When will Hillary Clinton be arrested? Anybody? Because how many years are we going to endure that grift? You know what I mean? Even Trump Network vitamins fizzled out eventually. Well, it didn't take too long, only 2 years. But we've been enduring this bullshit. They spent, Kenneth Starr, right? They went after $25 million trying to find dirt on Hillary Clinton. Why isn't she in jail? If somebody went up your ass with a $25 million investigation, that means they went over it. They went over every whatever. They took a scope up her ass and trying to look for something. Lock her up. You people make me sick. Oh, it's racism. It's misogyny. It's hate. Oh my God, Junior. What the frickin' fruck? Now he's perching on one leg. He jumped down. Let's see. For anyone, I don't know what this is. We're looking at it together. For anyone interested in data analytics, professionals, whatever. That's an ad, maybe? Why are you going to these assholes? Oh, okay. My name is Joe Biden, and I approve this passage. So this is a bunch of whatever, out of context. Who knows what year? But it's racism. Right there. Right? Oh, here we go. DeSantis signs bill into law that strips Disney of special powers and blocks CRT. in schools. Racism again. In U.S. military, every vehicle is going to be climate friendly. We're spending billions of dollars to do it. Oh, woo. Because what? We're supposed to... That's supposed to be bad, you see. We're supposed to not invest in the future. We're supposed to... This is what the Republicans want to do. In fact, Joe Biden, they want to invest in electric postal vehicles. And Louis DeJoy wants to take, I think, 3/4 of that and buy more gas guzzling archaic cars that really, I mean, why would you do that when you know the future is in electric vehicles? But you see corruption, which can basically be boiled down to racism. Well, you know, the racism is how they keep the corruption going. Fauci crushed for saying it's disturbing that U.S. court can overrule the CDC. Of course, without knowing anything that they're talking about. He probably mentioned, like what I said, it's disturbing that one basic bitch unfit judge, so-called judge, that didn't even have 5 years on the bench, could, and it's also heard no argument, did what the Supreme Court is doing, kind of shadow docketed her fixing the facts around the policy and ruled that the entire United States should breathe disgusting spittle coming from COVID-infested Trumpanzee lie holes. So, yes, okay. And also the fact that they hate Fauci, that they won't, use the pandemic as an opportunity to express their patriotism, that can be boiled down to racism. Yeah, whatever CNN Plus. Oh, because CNN is lies, because Trump says so, and they're fascist, because racism. Joe Biden shaking hands with the man that attempted to murder Kyle Rittenhouse with an illegal firearm. Oh, okay. Today, Joe Biden shook hands with Gage Grosskreutz, whatever, the felon, like, Kyle Rittenhouse, the piece of shit murderer, that's their hero, who put his unfit sociopathic, crying without tears, selfish ass into a situation he had no business being in, and tried to murder 3 people, was successful in murdering 2, maiming another, and Joe Biden shook his hand, and they're saying, this is terrible, and that is all because, why? Of racism. Okay? He was there, racism. They love Kyle Rittenhouse because of racism. Here we go. It's war. American Federation of Teachers Union President Randy Weingarten says parents' rights bills, such as the one in Florida, are the way in which wars start. Of course, not knowing of anything and reading this swill on out of context. They hate teachers' unions. They hate unions. They hate education because they need everybody stupid. And this whole parents' rights bullshit, racism and, whatever. I don't know anything about way which wars start, but yeah, I wouldn't disagree. What's this? Oh, Book of Mormon. That's an ad. Why are you advertising on there? Disney government dissolution bill signed by DeSantis because of racism, homophobia, hate, division, divide and conquer, fascism, America hate, stupidity, Republicans, racism. And homophobia, of course, bigotry. White House says it opposes DeSantis taking action against Disney. Oh, because of racism. You know, they show a picture of someone with darker pigment. Racism. Liberals raise concern about account that makes them look bad by just sharing their actual words. Well, yeah, actually, that's not true. This Libs of TikTok account is like, what do you call it? It's like Project Verite or every other propagandist fascist swill that gets published, that gets pushed into the racist heads of dupes who hate America. It's they're busy since the Washington Post. Basically, I think the Washington Post named the person behind this account. They've been deleting all of their TikToks because it's a bunch of fascist, selectively edited lies. So, but what can we expect from the party of fascism, from, Nazis, racism? Disney totally earned its slapdown from Florida lawmakers, says the New York Post. Rupert Murdoch, the biggest piece of dirt worm, whoever slithered out of a greed-centered lie hole into our sad, dying body politic, taking advantage of racism. Jen Psaki tells Chris Wallace kindergartners are questioning if they're a girl or a boy. I'm sure that's taken out of context. If I remember correctly, she was talking about how these scumbags are making it difficult for human beings to, young people to feel like they don't want to kill themselves and things like that. If they are questioning, and that we as normal people, humans who don't hate America and don't hate humanity and are capable of functioning in a democracy, we should create a welcoming society that values everyone. If there's a child that is trans, we say, it's okay. We got you. What's frick is wrong with that? Oh, well, you're supposed to beat that person. You're supposed to hang them on a fence. You're supposed to, hate them, kill them, put a gun in there. Well, this is what they do, right? Shoot them. All right. Am I wrong? Racism. It's all racism. All right. Yeah, I hope that Disney responds by, I don't want anybody to lose their jobs, but it's kind of ridiculous. Get the F out of Florida. Go somewhere better that isn't filled with fascists. I don't know. I'm sure there will be a response somehow, but it is another hallmark of fascism that if you don't, they already passed this law. So if you don't agree, then you're basically the enemy, and they will target you in the legislature. That's a bill. What is it called? Bill of Attainder. That's against the Constitution, where in the old days the king would write laws specifically targeting people, certain people. They would write a whole law against you. It's a bill of attainder, and it's illegal. So it's kind of in that category. If you're targeting, you're basically doing something because in retaliation for the fact that they don't agree with you politically, because you're a filthy fascist who can't handle any kind of public discourse. You can't handle the public. You just want racists and fascists. Hey, They're on the ascendancy, but you know what? Like I say, we will win. That's why they have to lie on the stand. They know this. They know they're on the wrong side of history. That's why they have to talk about acceptable, what did he say? Prohibited topics of conversation. Freedom. That's freedom. Prohibited conversation. Where do we live? Okay. All right, guys, listen up. Man, guys, everybody. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you all for your super chats. Thank you for becoming a patron if you can at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. I won't be able to do a show Monday or Tuesday because maybe I'll tell you. I don't know. Should I tell you? I'm getting a colonoscopy. That's how old I am. I have to get a colonoscopy. But hey, I made it. I made it to that age. I never thought I would. So, all right, listen. So that's going to suck, but that's on Tuesday. So I won't be able to. I don't know how I'll feel after. Maybe if I feel better, I'll be able to do a show on Tuesday and I can tell you all about it. But maybe not. We'll see. Otherwise, we'll try for Wednesday. We will definitely do a show during the week. So we at least, we always have our Friday show, but I try to do as many shows during the week, usually at least one. And, okay, Irene says, I've had a colonoscopy before. It's not that bad. That's what I've heard. I've heard they're not as bad. And in fact, they didn't tell me to bring anybody with me or anything. So I figured it couldn't be that bad. You don't need to bring somebody to take you home because you're all looped out or something. So I got to starve myself on Monday and drink that crap. And, is it? Some people say it's the best sleep after it's just kind of weird. That they're gonna put me to sleep and then they're gonna look up my ass. Which, I don't know. I guess who cares, right? I've had worse things up my, no, I haven't really. No, I've had worse, no, not really, I guess. When I'm asleep, not that I know of. So, all right, but we will. We will definitely do a show coming up. Of course, there's never a shortage of things to talk about, and we have so much work to do trying to get this country to be a functioning democracy. So. That's why we have a show. That's why we will win. And I have to say, I got someone on PayPal. And next show, I will do a better thank you. But somebody sent me Charles sent a donation through PayPal. I really appreciate that, Charles. So if you thank you so much, Charles St. James. If you want a mug, Charles, tarabustermedia@gmail.com, and also next time I will make mention of this earlier in the show in case you're not listening tonight or it didn't stick around to the end. So, the prep is nausea-inducing and not pleasant. That's what I hear, too. Well, it's going to be annoying. I won't be able to eat, and I have to, basically, drink that stuff and get it ready for the cameras, ready for my close-up. Thank you, Covert White Rabbit. You'll be fine. The prep is worse than the procedure. okay. Yeah, it is worse. They said I can eat Jello. What is it? Pineapple Jello. I can have some pineapple Jello on Monday. You will see the pics. Really? Up my ass? Okay. They showed me some pictures of up people's asses, and I wondered who they were. They were like, "This is what we wanted it to look like. This is what we don't want it to look like." So, like, basically scaring me straight. Like, if you eat, this is what it's going to look like. And they showed me up somebody's ass that probably didn't prep correctly, if you know what I mean. And it was not it was disgusting. I was like, I don't want to see that. Yuck. And they were like, we don't want to see it either. Oh my. So, hey, it's part of it's a rite of passage, I suppose. Oh well, it could be worse. All right, listen, my friends. Yep. And, all right, I got to get the show ready for PV and go get unconscious. It's already 11. Oh, my God. I'm going to... Jell-O is not vegan. I know. Use miso, vegetable broth, and vitamin-enriched tea. That's a good idea. Actually, I didn't think of that. I'm going to copy that right now and put that on my stickies. All right. You hear him? Let me see. Stickies. Thank you. That's good. Thank you, Covert White Rabbit. All right. Well, I'll report back. Hopefully, if I don't see you on Tuesday, we will see you on Wednesday. And we will have a lot more to talk about. But in the meantime, remember, you can hang out on Discord and get in touch with me there. And others. Post your own pics. Let me see your pictures of your producers. Right, honey? Right, little one? And, yeah, we will win. That's right. Yes, we will. We will. Don't contradict me, Junior. We're on the right side of history. Right? We're on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy. My name is Tara Devlin. This is our producer, Tara Jr. And we will see you. We'll see you very soon. Thanks for hanging out.